Hey, my lovely families and friends out there. I hope you all are doing well. I'm also doing well by the grace of Almighty God. And as always, I have come up with a Bible verse, and I hope that this Bible verse blesses you. Actually, I was reading from the book of Proverbs, and today it's my chapter 3. So, as I was reading this verse, something, you know, we all read this verse every time, and sometimes we finish reading this whole book and then again we start it over. But while reading this chapter, Proverbs 3, I came to know that how much important is wisdom and understanding is. And without wisdom and understanding, I don't think that we can be able to know God well. We can't be able to know how God works in us and how God works through us. So, the book of Proverbs, the writer is completely, you know, every time urging us to find wisdom, seek wisdom, because wisdom brings safety. Wisdom, it keeps you safe. It keeps you, it teaches you how to follow the way. It teaches you how to, stay away from the bad people, and it teaches you the ways of the Lord. It teaches you to be close to God. It teaches you many things, but little do we follow about these things, because though we read a lot, but we don't apply it in our life. And as I was reading this Proverbs 3, the specific verse that I would quote today is Proverbs 3, verses 25. It says, "Do not be afraid of the fear that comes all at once, and do not be afraid of the storm of the sinful when it comes." Let me read verse 26. It says, "For the Lord will be your trust, He will keep your foot from being caught." Okay, so I read these two verses, Proverbs 3, verses 25 and 26. And, while reading the whole verse, I was meditating on this two verse. Uh, as I read it out to you, it says, "Do not be afraid of fear that comes all at once." And, you know, many parts of our life, we have lots of fears. We have, uh, you know, so many fears, fears of the unknown, fear of being rejected, fear of being talked about, fear of being you know away, or fear of being separated from our beloved ones. We have lots and lots of fear in this world, but it says here, "Do not be afraid of the storm of the sinful when it comes." And you know all these types of fears that comes to us, it's not there permanent for permanent for a permanent period, but it's there for us certain period. And when that fear comes to you, and when that fear comes all of a sudden, when that storm of sinful comes, it says that we should not be afraid. And I was just listening to this podcast, and it said, like, God has said us not to be afraid 365 times in the Bible. So 365 means a lot of days, and 365, it's a whole year. And for every day of our life, for every day of this year, and for the upcoming year, and for the past years, God has always said us that do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. I am with you. Do not be afraid. He has said, "Do not be afraid," so many times for us. And while I was reading this, I just came to know that fear is always there in front of us. The fear is always inside of us sometimes, though we may not have, uh, it's sometimes it's not from outside. Sometimes we may have created that fear by ourselves. And it says again that God will be our trust. But before coming to this verse, if you read the above passages, if we read the above verses, it says that keep the teachings, do not forget the teachings, keep these teachings in your heart. Let the teachings that I've taught you, the wisdom and knowledge that I'm giving to you, do not take it away from you, because it will heal you. It will be a medicine to your bones, it will be a healing to your body. We read all this verse, and it also says that through wisdom God created everything, and you also need to seek the same wisdom. So in our life, I think that we have to be consistent in seeking the wisdom of God. And also I got reminded of this verse that the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom, as we read in Proverbs 1 verses 7. It says that fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. But fools, they don't, take it. They despise this thing. So if we are, wanting to be wise, if we are wanting to be, um, if we are wanting to gain wisdom in our life, it should be starting from the fear of God. We have to have the fear of God. And while having the fear of God, I feel like then only you will be able to have the wisdom and knowledge. And when you get wisdom and knowledge, you don't need to be afraid of the fear that comes all at once. You don't need to be afraid of the storm the sinful brings to us, because God will always be there with us. And we will be surely having a very calm mind when we have wisdom in our life. And God will help us from getting our foot being caught. And I feel like getting our foot being caught doesn't mean that literally someone has to be grabbing our foot and we have to shake off those hands who are grabbing our foot. But it certainly means that our path, we might be walking in different phases of our life. We might be walking sometimes in joy, sometimes in sorrow, but whenever we go through those phases also, we won't be sitting on those phases for a long period of time, but we will always be growing, we will always be productive while walking with God. And having the wisdom of God, with having the wisdom of God, I don't think that we will be stuck in one place for a long period of time, and we won't be there stagnant. So I just would love to encourage you guys to seek wisdom, to have the fear of God. And yeah, while you are, on this journey of having the fear of God, seeking His wisdom, and, agreeing with God in all He says, in all His ways also, I feel like there will be nothing that you need to be afraid of, because if God, He is the source of wisdom, if God, He's the source of everything, surely God will provide each and everything that you need in this life. So, yeah, have a good, great journey seeking the face of God, having the fear of God, seeking His wisdom and knowledge, and not being afraid as a result at the end. So, this is it for today. I hope you guys are blessed, and yeah, don't forget to bless others. And if you like this message, be sure to share it to your friends, and console them, tell them that there's nothing that they need to be afraid of, because God is always there with them also, as He is with us. And yeah, help your friend seek the wisdom of God each and every day. See you guys again in my next video. Bye.